How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in dystopia. This is the final sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be out you.
What up, everyone? Welcome to Spy Stream. We have about 3 minutes before our stream is scheduled to get started tonight. Let me show you what we are watching. We are going inside a live leftist organizing call for the Mayday Strong Coalition. This is an organization mostly run by the teachers' unions, that is the ATF and the NEA and all of their different local branches, where they organize protests and do all that sort of stuff, specifically to, protest the very people who pay them and all that sort of stuff. And so they're having a debrief call today because on Monday, they had over 1,000 events nationwide. Now, conservative media doesn't cover this shit, so conservatives generally don't know about this, but there were actually over 1,000 events nationwide on Monday on Labor Day, protests and house parties and things like that. Leftists getting together to talk about leftist things. Generally, the people we watch the Mayday Strong Coalition are mostly progressives. There are some certainly Democratic Socialists of America. Sometimes the radical revolutionary groups get involved just to piggyback on them, but mostly this is like a progressive organization against sometimes DSA, but this is not the most far left organization, but they are extremely prolific. Look at all the different partners they had for the Labor Day protest. That is an awful lot of people. Hey, that's the list of people that we need to target and look into right there. That's how nice of them to put together a list for us of people that we need to look into and organizations to look into and all that fun stuff. Let me bring up the Zoom call and see if we can get in. Now, just as a reminder, guys, sometimes I do have an error on my computer that means I need to restart my Chrome browser in order for it to connect. Hopefully that does not happen tonight. Okay, they aren't letting people in yet. Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. But if there is a thing where I cannot get the browser to connect to the Zoom, then I will have to restart my browser and come back. So, I am also, because this is a live training, I am very, very sorry. I am not going to be able to fix technical problems tonight. It sounds fine on my end. If it doesn't sound fine on your end, ain't shit I can do about it. Okay? So I cannot fix technical difficulties when we're doing Spy Stream. This is a live call. I can only do so much at one time. I have to get my recording in, and my recording is actually more important to me than whether or not you guys can hear it. If I'm being very honest about it. So everyone's just gonna have to get through whatever they have to get through. You're gonna have to be flexible, because when there is a live training, there is nothing that I can do about anyone's technical difficulties. All right. So Thomas, I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want any of this. I don't want any of this crap in the chat tonight. I don't want any of it in the chat. Please stop. We are waiting for the stream to begin, guys. I'm going to remind people that if you would like to join me for a much longer and much more leftist spy stream, I will be spy streaming all weekend long, because I just found out last night that I'm getting
recording in progress.
Welcome, 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 good people. We're going to give it just a second for folks to get in here, get comfortable. I am so excited that you all have joined us so that we can celebrate the incredible history that we made together over Labor Day weekend. Y'all know how we do.
I gotta
Get in
restart.
here,
I'll
get
be right
comfortable
back.
with a friend.
Don't go
that
anywhere.
you're
I'll be right
here.
back.
Before we get too much further.
Que dice more,
Okay, I'm
more
back.
o
You guys
más,
didn't miss
opriman
anything.
ahí y luego
You
toquen
missed nothing.
language interpretation o interpretación de idiomas y luego opriman español y toquen done hecho finalizado arriba a la derecha.
Now
Si
I'm gonna
tienen
get the wheel
problemas,
of death
déjanos
for a
saber por el
second,
chat.
and then it's gonna
Muchas
work.
gracias. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ashley.
Y'all show some love for our incredible
It's about to
interpretation
work.
team who
Hang
is
on.
making it possible for all of us to be here, hearing and
is.
understanding what these incredible leaders, movement leaders, practitioners, incredible trusted friends and colleagues of ours have to share with us tonight. So again, thank you, interpretation crew, for being here tonight. Y'all, I want to start by saying we made history together, and we're here to celebrate what we accomplished this Labor Day, and I'm going to brag about that. But before I do, I just have to be honest that I know that, as per usual, we're all arriving in the middle of some of the most tumultuous and turbulent times that we've ever experienced in our lifetime, right? These billionaire bosses, these oligarchs, these aristocrats, these wannabe kings are trying to destroy the working class, right? They're trying to consolidate their wealth and power at our expense. We know it because we've seen the deployment of the National Guard in people's neighborhoods. We've seen ICE and Homeland Security showing up in people's workplaces and raids, including some of our colleagues in Savannah, Georgia. We're sending love and solidarity to the folks that are fighting the raid that just happened today in Savannah, Georgia at the Hyundai plant there. So we know that terrible things are happening to our communities. You might be here because you're pissed off about it. You're sad, you're frustrated, you're scared, you're overwhelmed, you're skeptical. And you might be here because you're looking for a little injection of hope and inspiration. And my prayer is that is what this call provides for you today. So to speak a little bit about it, let's talk about what we did. This Labor Day weekend, we had more than 1,000 events, more than 500,000 people in the streets. We're building the working class movement that we need and deserve in this moment to stop the billionaire takeover of this country. And tonight, we're going to hear from leaders across the country who stood up this Labor Day and demanded better. We're going to hear from Bargaining for the Common Good about how we all can actually show up and take on the billionaires. And we're going to hear from Mayday Strong about the strike and action schools coming to a community near you. I'm psyched about it. To kick us off, though, we're going to hear from Bryn Siebert of SEIU HCII coming to us live from Chicago, not just about how powerful and historic Labor Day was in Chicago, the event that they held there, but about what they're currently experiencing in that city on the eve of the occupation and how they're meeting this moment. Bryn, we're so grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule to be here. I'll toss it to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you tonight. So my name's Bryn. I'm a vice president with SEIU Healthcare Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas. We represent over 91,000 workers across 4 states. And, like a lot of unions, we have been facing attacks directly from the Trump administration since Trump took office earlier this year. Veterans Administration hospital workers have lost their collective bargaining rights and their contract protections. Medicaid-funded home care workers are facing cutbacks and also threats to overtime, threats to minimum wage protection, and more. Medicaid cuts are threatening to roll back, progress that we've made on safe staffing in nursing homes. They're threatening to shutter safety net hospitals in cities and rural areas across our states and all over the country. And, in the face of all these attacks, our union is fighting for a care economy. What that means is we're fighting for childcare for all and good jobs for the people that work in childcare and early education. We're fighting for home care for all, and we're fighting for healthcare justice. And a common thread in all of these fights is that we need to tax the rich. We need revenue to fund our vision for care for all and good jobs. And we know the way to get there is to make, millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share. And at the same time, we also need to expose the role that billionaires and corporations are playing in upholding the Trump regime's authoritarian rule. So, we are all excited and proud to have been out in the streets together on Labor Day on Monday. In Chicago, thousands of working people marched through downtown on Labor Day, starting at the historic Haymarket Memorial in downtown Chicago. We marched to the Chicago headquarters of Valor Equity Partners. Their CEO, Antonio Gracias, is a close friend of Elon Musk. Up until recently, he was a Doge guy who was responsible for, making cuts to federal programs. So we marched from Valor Equity to a Target store to really lift up and highlight the Black-led consumer boycott against Target for caving to the Trump regime's attacks on DEI. All in all, it was an incredible show of power and solidarity with unions, clergy, immigrant rights groups, community organizations, all taking action together on Labor Day. So, I've been organizing childcare workers for more than 24 years, and I am sure I've heard a million times by now from, elected officials, from the people who make, our budgets, that there's never money to raise pay for childcare workers. And that there's still not money to raise pay for childcare workers when so many classrooms and childcare centers around the city of Chicago and around the state are empty, not because there aren't kids to fill those classrooms, but because they can't find a teacher. They can't keep a teacher. And the truth is that we could fund childcare for every single family in our state, for every single family in our country. But what we don't have is the will to tax billionaires. It's also, I take really seriously the responsibility of organized labor to organize and resist against authoritarianism, against fascism that we're seeing right now. With all the excitement and all the power of Labor Day still fresh in our minds here in Chicago, we are preparing for the arrival of hundreds of federal ICE agents, of possibly the U.S. National Guard, coming to militarize our city against the will of the people, against the will of our mayor and our governor. We are in this moment looking to Washington, D.C. and to Los Angeles, where community has been uniting in solidarity and fighting together to protect your people. And we know that here in Chicago, we have to do the same, right? We have to fight to protect our people. We have to fight to protect our community. And the way to do that is for us to build strong coalitions across the city that unite labor, community, immigrant rights groups, faith leaders, that it's by standing together in solidarity, taking action together, that we're going to keep our people safe. So as we go forward into whatever is to come here in Chicago and across the country, we know that we have to stay focused on billionaires. We have to keep lifting up the harm that they're doing. We have to keep demanding that the rich pay their fair share to fund childcare for all, to fund home care for all. We need to stand up and loudly say that we need money for care, not for ICE raids, not for militarization of our cities. So we are committed in our union, SEIU, to continue to stand up for immigrant rights. We're going to continue to host Know Your Rights trainings and workshops. We're going to continue to build solidarity between members across race, across geography. And we're going to have to keep building together and acting in solidarity, because it's when we unite labor and when we unite community and we take action together that we can keep our people safe. Thanks.
Y'all show some love in the reactions to Bren. Thank you and the SEIU fan for being here with us tonight. Y'all, I'm so excited that you're here. We're so close to having 1,000 people on this call. I want you to make sure that you pull out your phone, you go into your group chats, you go on socials, you tell everybody that you're here, and you tell them to come and get on the line with us. We want to make sure that this good word and all of the calls to action that are going to come from this call actually reach as many people as possible. So do that. Some of the homies in the Q&A are using the Q&A to make comments. But what they told me is that I didn't introduce myself. So let me do that before I bring up our next incredible movement leader. My name is Ashley Woodard Henderson. I'm your friendly neighborhood rabble rouser and MC of our call today. So I'm excited that you're here. The next speaker that you're going to hear from is the powerful Yvonne Saldana of Unite Here Local 23 in Houston, Texas, who kicked off a massive strike this Labor Day in the South. A strike that is still going strong at one of Houston's biggest hotels. Yvonne, take us away.
Hi. Oh my God, give me 1 second for the camera. I'm not sure if it's showing up right now. Can you see me? Okay, now you can see me. Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne. I work at the Starbucks department at Hilton Americas. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what we were looking to change, because I feel like we do love our work environment. I love what I do personally as a barista. I get to interact with so many people from so many different places, and I've always loved that about this job. But one of the things I will say is we need a livable wage. And I feel like it's not hard to ask for the bare minimum. It's hard for them to accept the fact that we need the bare minimum. Like, I honestly can't stress that enough to my coworkers. I always tell them, look, we're fighting for like a basic human need. We need to be able to pay our groceries. We need to be able to not struggle. We need to be able to not stress. And yes, I'll rotate it right now. I'm so sorry. Okay, give me 1 second. We need to be able to not have to constantly have to worry about these basic human needs. And I feel like that's one of the things I will say. Like, I always notice that people around me are always struggling, and it's sad that that is the case constantly. Oh, okay. So would I move it forward? Okay. It's on the side. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. So do you need it vertically or okay?
Yeah, I think you need to be vertical, friend.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, then I'll just hold it. So basically what I was stressing is that there's so many people around me that I constantly see struggling, so many coworkers that I care about, and I see them struggle, and it's hard to see them struggle on a daily basis. I feel like we need to ask this of the company to just give us the bare minimum, and it shouldn't be that hard for them to provide that for us, because They make so much money as a corporation. So why shouldn't we have the liberty of just living our lives, being a little bit more, able to have, I guess, that safety blanket underneath us, knowing that we're going to be able to cater to ourselves, cater to our families' needs. I know that the laundry department is struggling a lot because, the Hilton isn't meeting OSHA standards. People are fainting in the laundry department. That's something that's super, that's a huge deal. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that we're also just fighting for basic respect. I feel like there are so many things that are tied to just, treating people kindly, treating people with respect, knowing how to go about certain situations. I feel like management needs to step up, and I feel like they need to take a moment to understand that we, as baristas, as housekeepers, as every single department, matters so much. As line cooks, we do so much to help this hotel, and we love our jobs, but we also need to be treated with that same respect.
Yvonne, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for your courage. Your courage is contagious. You're getting a lot of love in the reactions. I hope you can see.
Yeah, I see them. Thank you.
Very grateful you were here. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. You're hearing from leaders on the front lines that are making the working class movement that was our Mayday Strong and continued through our Labor Day actions more possible. So keep showing them love. And again, we're grateful. For those of you that are just joining, thank you for being here. Make sure you've told all your friends to come and join us tonight so that we can make sure that you get this good information. I wish that we could hear from every single one of the incredible leaders who plan these Labor Day events all over the country. For folks that came late, you might have missed that we had more than 1,000 across the country. So if we heard from every single one of them, doing that for 1,000 events might take quite some time, more time than we have together tonight. So to learn more about all of this incredible work that happened and stay in touch so that you can find out what our movement's going to do next, I need you to take your phone out and I want you to go to the text message app, like where you send text messages. And I want you to text the word solidarity to 58910. Again, I want you to get your phone ready. I want you to get it out. And I want you to text the word solidarity, SOLIDARITY, to the number 58910. One more time for posterity's sake. If you want to learn more about the work that we have done and stay in touch with our movement, I need you to take 1 second, go to the text messaging app on your phone and text the word solidarity, SOLIDARITY, to the number 58910. Now, once you've done that, once you've texted that word solidarity to 58910, we're going to pull up a quick poll to see who's joining us tonight. I want you to take a moment to fill out the survey. Let us know who you are and what brings you here to the call tonight. You can see it just popped up on your screen if you're on your laptop. Hopefully it does that if you're on your phone as well. Tell us about you. Tell us if you're a union member or if you want to be a part of a union. Tell us if you're an activist with a local group or you want to become an activist with a local group. I've already seen some folks looking to reach out and build community with people in their locations in the Q&A. So make sure to click that if you're looking for your people. And then click if you're active in your faith community. Tell us a little bit about who you are. We're going to take a moment to do that. So while folks are filling out the poll, again, I want to remind you that if you haven't yet, I want you to text the word solidarity to 58910 so it can be our bat signal to keep in touch with you when we're ready to mobilize again, so that we can increase our numbers and so we can make sure that you are fully absorbed into this incredible agitational movement for worker power. Take a moment, text 58910, the word solidarity, and then switch over to the poll and tell us a little bit about you. Are you a union member? Do you want to be a part of a union, but you're not yet a member? Are you a member of a local group? Are you an activist? Do you want to become an activist with a local group? And are you active in your faith community? Take a moment to tell us who you are. And for my friends who are here with us on Zoom, the chat is open. You can tell me your name, where you're calling in from. If you want to rep your org, you can do that. Now we're so, again, glad and excited that you have not regarded it robbery to be here with us tonight. We know you're coming from all over the country. We see you from California to New Jersey, Virginia in the building, Michigan, I see you. I know some folks gotta be from the great state of Tennessee. Shout out to the volunteers that have made their way to this call. I see the great and courageous state of Alabama, Florida, Massachusetts, we see you. Texas, we know is in the building. Oregon, shout out to the Pacific Northwest that is here with us. I think I saw Hawaii in the chat. What's good, y'all? We see you. Cities and towns, hollers and hoods from every stretch of this country are here in solidarity tonight saying, yo, we believe in a world where workers actually can take the actions necessary to be organized in their workplaces. And that when bosses prioritize profit, the extraction of profit, over the people who make that profit possible, those folks should be protected, defended, and able to resist and organize, right? So, y'all, I'm excited that you're here. I think if you want to build worker power, if you're here because you believe in workers over billionaires, you are in the right place. And I want to make sure that we stay together and can build on top of this incredible movement that we have been, like, one, the labor movement that we've inherited, that is our great legacy, right? The shoulders that we stand on as folks that support workers, but also the incredible life-saving and historic work that we're doing right now, the radical and militant interventions that you all made possible over Labor Day weekend. So thank you for introducing yourselves to us. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Y'all, we are building a powerful movement of working class people to take on the billionaires. And next, to hear from yet another incredibly powerful leader from Boston, Massachusetts, Darlene. I want you to come on in the room. She's the president of the Greater Boston Labor Council. Darlene, I'll toss it to you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. And I just want to thank President Schuler and the National AFL-CIO for asking me to speak about our Labor Day in Boston. You know, she put out the call to our state federations and CLCs all across the country, and we answered the call, but so many other groups did, so many federations and CLCs. I mean, the one in Pittsburgh was 45,000 people, so I'm humbly with my little maybe about 10,000 came out for us. But we're really excited to share a little bit about Boston. And I just got to say how humbling it is. Even New York is happening this weekend, I think, and they're expecting over 100,000. So we did our first Labor Day parade. We got everybody out of this traditional breakfast. You know, President Schuler was like, no business as usual in this political moment. We have to show that we are lockstep in many of the community partners that have been doing mobilizations like 5051, Indivisible, Hands Off, Good Trouble. So we invited all of those partners, those community partners, to join with us and organize our first Labor Day parade. And it was crazy. It was so much fun. We had brass bands from our musicians union. We had a dance group, a Dominican dance group that had baton twirlers and young people dancing 5 years old to 10 years old. And of course, we had rank and file workers out of the ballroom of usually a union hotel, which is usually about 750 people. We had almost 10,000 people come out and join us in the streets. And that is because we built a coalition, a planning committee of community groups and our unions to really show how important it is to be out in the streets and to show our worker power this Labor Day. So I just want to, I just want to just share a little bit because it was our whole goal was to be both militant and festive. So we ended up marching and having these historic sites being lifted up and also some corporate targets highlighted. We first went to the first public school in the U.S. and our educators, AFT, MTA, and Boston Teachers Union really held down this site to show the importance of public education and what unions have won for working class people. Then we went down to BlackRock offices businesses. They hold about $10 trillion of managed assets in anti-union companies and also detention centers. They're terrible, terrible, terrible. One of those tech billionaires. And then we went down to Faneuil Hall to really highlight the historical Boston building trades first meeting that they ever came together in 1834, and then highlighted a 1954 colonial meatpacker strike where UFCW actually organized the Black workers brought in to break the strike and instead organized them into the union and built that multiracial local union and won that strike. And then we marched over to 100 Sudbury, where SEIU 32BJ has been locked in a fight with our janitors and owner that turned it into luxury homes. And then we went into the federal building, and obviously our federal workers talked about how important it is to really fight this illegal layoffs and also the taking away of our collective bargaining rights as federal workers. So it was a lot of fun. It was great to organize, and it's very clear with this call to action from the National AFL-CIO partnering with Mayday Coalition that we are obviously going to be in the streets next year, but also throughout the year. So I'm really humbled and honored to be able to share what we did on Labor Day, and we couldn't have done it with all the support of our unions and our community partners and this united front that we've built here in Boston.
Yes, shout out to being bigger than the sum of our parts by actually being an invitation to all of the movement leaders in our communities and asking them like, hey, come out, show your support for workers. But also shout out to the folks in labor who are going and supporting the things that community groups are doing. I know I see y'all in the chat. We Are Worth Fighting For is in the chat. I see Indivisible in the chat. I know some of the No Kings fam is in the chat. I see some of the Movement for Black Lives folks in the chat. I see so many folks that are doing incredible grassroots work all across this country that are coming together across our sectors to be the big front that actually stops this right-wing authoritarian nightmare. So shout out to you all. Shout out to our colleagues in Boston for being so incredible. And thank you for being here on the call with us tonight. Y'all, I am honored to bring up from Albuquerque, where thousands turned out in one of their biggest protests ever, Andrea Serrano, who is the executive director of OLE. Andrea, thank you for being here. I know it's so busy. Thank you for coming. We'll give it to you.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to be on this call and among so many folks who are doing things, big things across the country. Again, Andrea Serrano, I'm the executive director of OLE here in Albuquerque. And what was so meaningful about this action, first of all, seeing community groups and labor come together to march together, to do something that we had never done on Labor Day before, which was come together, march, and demand workers over billionaires. And Albuquerque's nickname is Burque over billionaires. And so to put that spin on it and to see us together marching, it meant so much. OLE is a multi-issue organization. We've organized workers for the last 16 years. And so to be there with groups like OPEN, New Mexico Working Families Party, the UA 412 Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, the Albuquerque Teachers Federation, and to have so many other community groups, including the United Grad Workers of the University of New Mexico, and to see us with a very, very common goal, and that is to really hold local government accountable for, the practices. We know that on the federal level, we know what's going on the federal level, but also on the local level, one of our targets was to stop in front of the Clyde Hotel in downtown Albuquerque, owned by a developer named Jim Long, who just received a $227 million tax sweetheart deal to build luxury apartments and luxury hotels, no affordable housing. And we're in a housing crisis in Albuquerque, just like across the country. And we can't even get the most basic renter protections passed by our city council and mayor, and yet this developer got a sweetheart deal. And so this idea that we are part of a larger movement, it makes us feel, one, it makes us feel like we're not alone, and two, it gives us the will to fight. And it was one of the largest actions with about 6,000 people on the street in Albuquerque. Albuquerque, for those who don't know, is a small city. It's a mid-sized city. And New Mexico has a population of 2 million. So to have 6,000 people on the street in our city marching together. I still can't get over it. I've been on this sort of like floating on this high all week about it. But then we think about what's next, right? We think about what's next, and we think about the ways in which we have to keep pushing our lawmakers, and the way we have to keep pushing on local lawmakers. Local economy is just as effective as pushing on the federal. And so, really thinking about what is the next action we're going to do, and how are we going to march together with labor during our legislative session, which is in January, and what are the demands we're going to make for workers on behalf of workers. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm calling in from my car because this, I was racing home so that I could join this call. And I'm so proud that Albuquerque is part of this big movement that's happening across the country. Workers over billionaires, Burke over billionaires, and we just keep moving forward.
Darlene, you are doing the good Lord's work. We are grateful that you are doing it. We are grateful for your courage. We are grateful for your leadership. And we are grateful that Albuquerque is on the map of the 1,000 actions that we made happen this Labor Day. So thank you, Darlene, for being here. Next up, to talk to us more about how we can take those billionaires and preview a bigger training coming up, how we can beat back this billionaire attack on workers and actually plug into taking some initiative to learn some things about how we can up our ante in relationship to building worker power. I get to kick it to my friend and brother Sakib Bhakti with Action Center for Race and the Economy and Bargaining for the Common Good. Sakib, take it away.
Thanks, Ash. It's great to be here with y'all. Really exciting to see so many folks. So yeah, I'm going to talk about how we can find out more about the billionaires driving fascism in the US. My organization, ACRE, will be hosting a training on October 22nd that you can register for at bit.ly/billionaire power grab. We'll share that link on the screen a little bit later. So, we all know about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, but they're just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the billionaires that are really, driving fascism. There's nearly 1,000 billionaires in the country with a whopping $6 trillion in combined wealth. And as a result of the big bad bill, they will get billions in tax breaks while our communities lose their health care, their jobs, and ultimately their livelihoods. So we need to demand that these billionaires pay what they owe, and we need to organize to build the people power necessary to overcome their money. So believe it or not, there's billionaires all over the country. So how do you find your local billionaire? I want to share this website that has profiles of every billionaire in the country, classsolidarity.org. So if you go to this website and you click on the Find a Billionaire link, which next slide, please. It'll take you to this People's Audit page. If you scroll down, next slide, you get to this list of billionaires. And then next slide, there's this drop-down menu where if you click on state, you can filter by states, you can find the billionaires in your state. And pro tip, 48 states have billionaires. The only two that don't are Alaska and Delaware. So there are billionaires all over the country. So if you go to the next slide, you can also click on industry and filter by industry. So this right here shows us some of the biggest billionaires in the finance and the finance industry, including Jeff Yass, the richest man in Pennsylvania, who is so far this year, he's the biggest donor to Trump's super PAC. And so then you'll see some of these names are highlighted in blue while others are black. The ones that are in blue, we've built out deeper profiles on. So if you click on Peter Thiel right here, so next slide, please. You can see, a bigger thing on him. So Peter Thiel, quick reminder, he's the founder of Palantir. ICE uses Palantir data to help with immigration raids. Palantir's AI powers Israeli drones that are carrying out the genocide in Gaza, among other things, many, many other things. And Peter Thiel is really like a big figure in sort of driving the authoritarianism in our communities and really sort of driving the big brother, like the expansive surveillance state that's really taking root. And then if you go back to the main audit, next slide, please. You can then click on this thing up top that says Chief ICE Officers. So that takes you to this other website that has this other page that has links of more folks. Alex Karp is the CEO of Palantir. Antonio Gracias, Brain spoke about earlier. He's was until recently the head of the DOGE Immigration Task Force with Valor Equity Partners in Chicago. And there's a few more listed here as you scroll down. So we need to take on all of these billionaires directly. They think they can impose their will on us, but we're not going to back down. We're going to take the fight directly to their doorsteps. So next slide, please. So you want to do a thing together. So please go to classsolidarity.org, find a billionaire in your state, and then drop it into the chat. If there's more than one, just pick one. And while you do that, just there's 900 and some, there's almost 1,000 billionaires across the country. I saw the question in the chat. So as I mentioned earlier, my organization ACRE will be holding a webinar the evening of October 22nd called the Billionaire Power Grab that will go into more detail on key billionaire culprits, who they are, how to find them, how to take them on, and how to connect them to your local fights. To join that webinar, you can register at bit.ly/billionairepowergrab. Thanks. Back to you, Ash.
Saka, we appreciate you, and this tool is incredible. So again, if the chat is moving too fast and you missed it, just to give it to you one more time, it is classsolidarity.org. Classsolidarity, all one word, .org. That's how you get to the tool. Can we put the slide up with the links just for one more second, just to make sure everybody gets it? And shout out to Martha Grant, who is dropping these links in the chat for us like a champion. Remember that if you have registered for this call, you'll get the recording and you'll get the links. We know the chat is moving fast with a lot of people on the call. We'll make sure that you've got it. Be sure to spread these links around, share the wealth of these tools and this incredible opportunity to participate in the work that ACRE is doing. Thank you, Saka, for sharing it with us. I also want to remind you that if you haven't yet texted Solidarity to 58910, well, now's a perfect time to do that. If you just joined us, we're trying to make sure that you all can not only get access to the incredible stories of the work that we've already done, but that you can stay in touch with us about the work that we continue to do to build worker power over billionaires. So again, if you haven't yet, I want you to take out your phone and I want you to go to the text message app and I want you to text the word Solidarity to 58910. Next, let's hear from the workers in Minnesota who are fighting for basic workplace protections on the job. Romeo Tillman is a leader with the SEIU Local 26 Rideshare Organizing Committee. Romeo, thank you for being here.
Hey, how are you? And thank you for having me here this evening. And again, my name is Romeo Tillman, and I'm here today with the SEIU Local 26 Rideshare Driver Organizing Committee. And we're a group of rideshare drivers who have been fighting for years to improve our industry. And earlier this year, we went public with our push to update state law here in Minnesota so that rideshare drivers can finally have the right to be able to vote on whether we have a union or not. Right now, we're not even allowed to have a vote or whether we can even have a union, which we want to change. Our group is mostly consistent of Black and immigrant drivers, and we're coming together because it's time that we have a voice about working conditions, etc. I've been driving professionally myself for over 22 years, first as a truck driver, and for the last 6 years as a rideshare driver. And that's about the time I got active within the fight with the locals within the last year, when I started doing the rideshare work full time. And that was because I saw how much we needed change. On Labor Day, our group was a part of the biggest protest rally at the Minneapolis airport, where we joined other union workers and community supporters to say it's time we put workers over billionaires. A fellow driver spoke out in front of the crowd, talking about the changes we wanted to see, everything from our pay to specific issues that we're having at the airport, where we have been demanding the airport, who makes money off of our rides, put real bathrooms, prayer areas in the parking lot, etc., and improve working conditions, of course. Right now, we only have porta potties, and the Muslim drivers there have to pray in the dirt and snow. These porta potties are basically unsanitary and unsafe. It was awesome to see all the different groups out on Monday, and it was very powerful action where we marched, rallied, and even had a band playing. We heard about the airline like Delta and how they gave millions of dollars to the Trump victory party, which kind of makes me upset and very mad. We're fighting for some of the basic things of some people that are so rich that they have millions of dollars for a party. That's not right. We all should be mad about that. And I think we should be. That's why I think we need to be doing this fight full-time, 24 hours a day until we see a change. We need that energy felt Monday to be here all day, every day. But no matter how powerful we felt on Monday, we know the fight is just starting. I recently went to California myself to help the drivers there as they were pushing for union rights. So I know our fights are happening all over the country. We may be facing different employers and having different fights, but I think we're all fighting for the same thing. I'm ready to keep this fight going and hope you all are too. Thank you so much for your time. Let's do something about it.
Romeo, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go, bro. Whatever you say, let's get it. We're grateful for your leadership. We're grateful for your courage. Thank you for being here and getting us fired up and ready to fight for workers. We appreciate you. Y'all, we're going to pull up that slide with the links that Saqib referred to one more time, just to give you a second to see it and grab it as you're watching. Go ahead. It's loading up. And can we show some love for the back of house, like the tech team, the folks that are making sure the chat is good, that the questions are getting answered, that the links are being dropped in the chat, y'all. Like, it's such a team effort to make this happen. So shout out to every single person, our interpretation crew, the tech team, all the folks that are wrangling the chats. We love you. Thank you for your leadership. Okay, so you can find a billionaire near you using the incredible tool classsolidarity.org. And you can register for the Billionaire Power Grab webinar at bit.ly / or actually it's just a slash, it's not a backslash. So bit.ly/billionaire power grab. And y'all, those bit.ly links are case sensitive. So capital B, capital P, capital G, and billionaire power grab. Make sure you get those links. And again, we will make sure that you receive them with the recording if you're watching this afterward. Y'all, also, again, I want to give you another reminder that you can text the word solidarity to 58910 to stay in touch with us and get the bat signal about when it's time to do our next work together. Y'all, this stuff that we're doing, these wins that we're creating are like not just symbolic. These are things that we need to actually build the power of the working class. I'm so excited to introduce to you Maria Parker of the Union of Southern Service Workers. Shout out to USS Dub. They're building the structure for working power right here in the South. Maria, share with us how you've been building this massive and growing coalition in Atlanta, which just happens to be the home of Delta Airlines, a multi-billion-dollar corporation and a major player at MSP Airport as well.
Yeah, thank you all so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here representing the South. You know, Atlanta is home to the biggest, busiest airport in the world. The South is home to some of the most important ports in the country, like out in Charleston. We got the biggest research universities in the country, like in Durham, where 750 workers marched and rallied outside of Duke University, the Ivy League of the South, on Monday, demanding Duke stand with workers, students, and community who make the campus run, and not the billionaires who sit on their nice little board of trustees. And this is all possible because, you know, comrades out there with Durham Rising, the Durham Educators Association, Amazon Cause, the Southern Labor Youth Movement came together, circulated a petition to get Durhamites signed on to support the fight for dignified housing, dignified work, and, you know, a union life. And through that, I've built a list of people who are taking to the streets in struggle and kind of escalating their efforts to fight back. So on Monday, they had a Duke housekeeper facing layoffs. They had a Duke bus driver facing deportation. They had a worker with Amazon cause childcare, agricultural, grad student union workers, including an announcement from the Duke Graduate Student Union that they ratified their very first contract week before last. So it goes to shows that when labor organizes in the community around community issues, that's real power in numbers. We saw that in Western North Carolina, where 500 workers and supporters rallied in Asheville alongside a Poor People's Campaign. South Carolina, USSW and our allies and the postal workers with the labor, the dock workers coming together in Columbia and Charleston in the hundreds, joined by hundreds more in Miami, anchored by We Count, Unite Here, and then in Atlanta, another 500 who stood shoulder to shoulder at Woodruff Park to hear from Waffle House workers, UPS, Starbucks, Emory University grad student workers, housing and immigrant justice groups, all declaring in one voice, y'all, El Pueblo, Salva, El Pueblo. Everybody knows by now, and we're trying to educate more and more each day, that we outnumber the billionaires, and we're trying to, build a movement so that together we can save ourselves from their rule. And for us, it's all possible in the South by asking ourselves, what are the barriers to participation and how can we lift them together? So who needs a ride? Who's hungry? Who's nervous? And how can we collaborate in getting like every single person standing on the sidelines into the fight? I stand firmly believing that the South is the most radical place in the country, y'all. If you have the courage and the wisdom to fight for liberation here, we can win the fight for liberation anywhere. So appreciate y'all having me here, changing the South so that together we can change the nation.
Yo, it's not an opinion, it's a fundamental fact, y'all. Change the South, change the nation. All right, give it up one more time for Maria. Thank you so much for being here, Mariah. We are so grateful for you and the USS Dub family. Y'all are lit in the chat. Y'all show some love to all these incredible movement leaders who were on the ground helping lead the 1,000 events that we had across the country on Labor Day. There's so much to celebrate here, right? The great Alice Walker said, hard times require furious dancing, and y'all danced in the streets. Y'all resisted. You took militant action. You built community, and you built worker power together. Folks went on strike. Some strikes are still happening right now, right? Y'all built cultural interventions. This is incredible what we're doing. And certainly there's so much more to build, and momentum is building. And in fact, I'm so excited to bring up next the incredible Jessie Sarkey, former president of the Chicago Teachers Union. I'm wearing CTU swag today, who's going to talk to us about what Mayday Strong is up to, particularly an effort to establish regional strike and action schools across this country coming to a place near you. Jessie, tell us all about it.
Thanks, Ash, and thanks everyone for being on. The folks at Mayday Strong and the Chicago Teachers Union is part of that organization. We're not some big, powerful, well-funded entity. We're really a coalition of activist organizations, including unions, that want to do something. We plan to launch a series of regional strike or solidarity schools, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we want to do that because there have been these big mobilizations, and Labor Day was one, but we're talking about hands off, May 1st, no kings, etc. And these events have been really important, and because they're a way to counter our forces. They help us show our dissatisfaction with the direction of the country. But these mobilizations by themselves will not stop this administration, let alone win a better society. One day, in the public square is not necessary to stop billionaires from who have a whole plan for what they want to do to our society. So what we're going to do is hold a series of regional schools for 3 reasons. Number one, we want to build our coalition. Number 2, we want to deepen our political analysis and alignment for the people who come. And number 3, we want to plan local campaigns coming out of those meetings. And we think we need to do that in person. And we think we need to do that out in the parts of the country where people can make those local connections and do it in a meaningful way. I wish I could announce the locations and dates of these schools. But we don't know what they are yet because we're trying to make sure that we're coordinating with local organizations and not working at cross purposes with them. In some places, these conferences are going to be strike schools. where unions have contract expirations, and where we're going to be working to promote common good bargaining demands, where we can take on billionaires through economic action and win. In other places, striking might not be on the table, but local organizations will be able to learn skills, make stronger local connections, and promote local campaigns. Maybe it's a revenue campaign, maybe there's a local ballot issue or initiative that people are taking. It's going to be up to local organizations to decide that. But what we want to do is offer Mayday Strong's help to build these events through our network, like the way that people have host kits online for hosting events. There would be curriculum materials, access to workshops and presenters, and then we would use our connection with the labor movement and other organizations to help people put together organizing committees that could build regional strike or action schools across the country. So it's really an effort that's going to require everyone. So if you're not part of an organization, please think about joining a local organization and join up with Mayday Strong, be part of our mailing list. And if you are part of an organization, we're going to put a link in the chat to a survey or a form which people have let us know so we can gauge people's interest in helping to organize these things in your locale. Look, well, I'll wrap up. We're excited by how many people came to Labor Day. We think the workers over billionaires is a key message, but ultimately this isn't just about a narrative. It isn't just about saying the right thing. It's about building the structures, the organization that are capable of stopping the rising tide of authoritarianism, including the tool of a political strike. And we think that's what's going to be necessary to bring justice to people who've been shafted by the system. So solidarity, everyone. Hope to see you organizing. Hope to see you out in the locales as part of these regional strike and action schools. And
Hey,
Ash,
y'all.
you're on mute. Oh, there we go.
Hey, y'all. We see you asking how you find out about a strike school near you, an action school near you. Make sure you fill out the form so that we can calculate how many folks we got that are interested, and we can start to distribute that information. And make sure you pay attention to the Mayday Strong website. That link is also in the chat, and you'll be getting after this call when we send out the recording as well. Again, your reminder that the other way that you can stay in touch with us is by texting the word solidarity to 58910. And, I want to take a minute to just show some love to Jesse Sharkey and the incredible team of folks all over this country. I'm particularly fond of some of the leaders from the South that have been involved, but for all the folks that are making Mayday Strong possible. What an incredible intervention in a time where it's so desperately needed that we center our sights on building the power of the multiracial working class. I don't mean just the progressive ones, the liberal ones, the left ones, though I think we have a particular responsibility to act in this moment. But I mean all of us, every single one of us. We need to be out pushing and supporting building worker power, period. This administration is hurting all of us, regardless of what bodysuit we're in, regardless of what zip code we're in. Workers need protections, defense, they need support, and they need to be able to turn this shit over when folks extract from them in ways that are harmful and killing us. It's just not okay. When workers are being impacted by these raids like we're seeing today in Savannah, I mean, almost every day, almost everywhere, when we're seeing people being kidnapped, when we're seeing workers being hurt on the job, when we're seeing people working 3, 4, 5 jobs to make ends meet, robbing Peter to pay Paul, take care of our families and each other. Y'all, it doesn't have to be like this. And I believe in a future where it is not like this because of the action and the non-cooperation and the community building and the infrastructure building and the worker power building that you all are doing today and every day. I hope that you, like me, are waking up every day and asking myself, how can I block the billionaires? How can I block this harmful, this evil administration that is trying to consolidate its wealth and power at the expense of workers? And what's one thing I can do to build worker power today? Just one faithful step. We've given you multiple things that you can do today. You can support the strikes. You can sign up, express your interest in strike and action schools. You can use the Billionaire tool, the class solidarity website that Saqib shared. You could keep mobilizing with Mayday Strong. You could stay in touch with us by, again, texting solidarity to the number 58910. Y'all, it's going to take us showing up again and again and again. It's going to require us taking to the streets. Shout out to those of you that mobilized on Labor Day. Shout out to those of y'all that are already planning to mobilize for the next No Kings. Shout out to those of you that are taking your own independent action in between now and then. We see you. Thank you for calling your elected officials. Thank you for talking to your neighbors. Thank you for feeding other people's children. All the mutual aid that you're doing, everything, the political education, the training that you're taking so that you can be more active in this season. Y'all, it's going to take every single one of us. And you already heard Mariah say there's more of us than them. So if we do what we're supposed to do, create actions today with Mayday Strong focused on no kings, but also no billionaires this October 18th. We will see it done. I saw folks earlier asking questions about how do we connect all of these movement parts. Well, we can start by practicing what we preach around the desire to see that done by actually filling the leadership vacuum that we want to see done. Y'all can make no kings and no billionaires pop on October 18th. We're going to drop a link for you to sign up for that as well. Y'all, I am eternally grateful that you continue to show up to this virtual sacred space that we built together. I'm so grateful to see the 1,000 events that you all hosted, the many posts all across social media of what you did. And even more importantly, I'm grateful for the connection, for the solidarity that we're building across movements, across workers, across workplaces. I see you, I appreciate you, I respect you, and I want us to give free. Thank you for not regarding it robbery to be here tonight. Thank you to every single one of our incredible movement leaders. Y'all, thank you for coming and sharing your brilliance, your stories about what happened, your best practices, and some next steps, some meaningful work that we can take in such a time of trepidation. We can be grounded in the leadership that you gave us. So thank you all for being here. To the interpretation team and the tech team and everybody that's been holding down the chat and Q&A, thank y'all for being here. And again, to each and every one of you who have participated, we are grateful that you are here. Before we close it out, for those of you on the Zoom, you can see that we just launched a poll. It says, what will you do next? What is the faithful next step that you're committing to take tonight? You can tell us what you're most excited about. Is it solidarity schools? Is it the billionaire training? Is it getting back in these streets? Is it building community locally? Or is it building your union? Tell me what you're most excited about, what you're willing to do next. Is it solidarity schools? Is it the billionaire training that Sakib talked about? Is it protesting, getting back in the streets? Is it building community locally? Or is it building your union? I see some folks in the chat. Sherry Berry, I see you want to build community unity. I see Julianne said solidarity and prosperity. I see y'all. I see the love also. Thank you. Getting them gone, Dorothy. I agree. I'm ready to kick some of these people out of these seats of power. I'm with you. I'm with you. Getting back in the streets. I see you, Mandana. Getting people who have been whose vote has been suppressed to continue to fight for their ability to participate in the democratic process. I see you. Folks are hyped about the billionaire training. Folks are hyped about the strike schools. We see you. Keep telling us. We want to make sure that we're building a program that is accessible to you. So thank you for actually participating in this poll. We'll give it like another second for folks to tell us what they're most excited about. Solidarity schools, billionaire training, taking to the streets, building community locally, building our union. Tell me what you're doing. I see y'all. Folks ready to strike. I agree with you. We got to build the infrastructure to be able to support and sustain the folks that are willing to take that risk. Absolutely. All right, y'all. We've been together for almost an hour, and yet there is more to be done. Again, we want to thank you for not regarding it robbery to be here with us tonight, to share your love and solidarity, to create a place of belonging for people who believe in prioritizing workers over billionaires. I want to thank every single one of you that turned up and showed out for Labor Day. I want to thank you for committing to not just take that one action, but continuing to be involved in the worker power building movement. So for all of the things that you're going to do between now and the next time we get to talk to each other, I am grateful. Thank you for signing up for these trainings. Thank you for sharing these links. Thank you for inviting people to join our movement. And one more time, I want you to make sure that you tell your friends, your families, all your social media buddies to text the word solidarity to 58910 and come on, get down with Mayday Strong. Y'all, I'm Ashley Woodard Henderson. It has been such a privilege to be here with y'all tonight, and we will see you on the next Mayday Strong National Mass Call. Y'all have a good night.
Recordings.
Okay. That's it. You know, tonight I was reminded why I do not do spy stream. I don't want to do spy streams publicly anymore. I'm just gonna be very blunt. We're gonna do a little debrief. I'm gonna talk about what I learned on that call. But like, there was a reason I made the decision to go back to doing supporter only spy streams, and then I forgot. And I like to be generous. And I like to make sure I'm making this information as available to people as possible. But let me explain to you why moving forward, I will no longer be doing public spy streams. And I'm going to remember it this time, because every single time, without fail, that I do a public spy stream that is available to people who are not funding my work, so any riffraff can walk in off the street and say whatever dumb shit they want in the chat, I end up being infuriated by the end of it. And the reason that I end up being infuriated by the end of it is that inevitably the entire spy stream is going to be filled with comments in the chat to the effect of, "They're ugly. They like to hear themselves talk. They're stupid," and every other owning the lib comment that conservatives can think of. And you know what? It's kind of like, the reason I find it so infuriating is there is no one on the right that takes this seriously. These people have been organizing protests for months and months and months and months and months. They are causing chaos on a consistent basis. We know who's funding them. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You have no fuck off idea who's funding them, because you listen to people who lie to you. And even if you did know who was funding them, why the fuck aren't you doing anything about it? Do you really think, conservatives, do you really think that going, "We know who's funding you," solves any problems at all? No. In order to solve a problem, you not only have to have a piece of correct information, and by the way, most of the time you retards don't even know where the funding is coming from. You make shit up and you go, Soros, 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 or you go, USAID, and that's usually not even the truth. That's usually not even fucking real. It's just something that some fuck-off retard influencer made up, lied to a whole bunch of people in their audience, and then those audience go out and they repeat it like a fucking robot. They go, Soros, it's Soros. Soros is funding it. Even if it was Soros funding it, what the fuck have you done about it? What the fuck have any of your politicians done about it? You know the reason that no one has done anything about George Soros or Alex Soros or USAID funding any of these leftist organizations? Because that's not fucking real. It's not real. It's almost never real. Soros funds progressive organizations. Progressives. Most of the time, the USAID money doesn't even make it to fucking boots on the ground organizers. It doesn't even make it, even if USAID is involved, which, by the way, USAID is not always involved. Most of the time, these groups are funded by voluntary donations and by mutual aid. Almost always. Do you want to know why Donald Trump can go on rants on Truth Social? We're going to bring RICO charges against these people. And then nothing ever fucking happens because you don't know where the funding is coming from, and it's not coming from the place you think it is. But Donald Trump gets on Truth Social and lies and says, we're bringing RICO charges. Ain't going to be no fucking RICO charges because they don't even know where the funding is coming from, and they don't fucking care. All they care about is feeding their fucking retard audience the talking points the retard audience is desperate for. And then that retard audience comes into my chat and they go, we know where that funding is coming from, and they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And the left just marches on. And no one on the right takes this seriously enough to actually do anything about it. So when I watch these organizing calls where they're talking about highly actionable things that they're doing, organizing tens of thousands of people. There were over 500,000 people who protested on a fucking Monday on a holiday. That's what the left is doing. The right can't even get 1,000 people in a fucking room. The left is doing these protests on an ongoing basis. Don't fucking tell me the left isn't winning. The left can turn out hundreds or thousands of people at a protest locally in cities across the country at short notice, with almost no notice. If the right tried to do a protest like that or a rally, maybe a dozen people would show up, and I know that from some experience. The right can advertise protests and rallies for weeks and weeks and weeks, and maybe you get a couple dozen people to show up. The left does it. The left sends out a text on Sunday night and says, we're protesting Monday at 10 a.m., and there are 1,000 fucking people at that protest on Monday at 11 a.m. That's the fucking difference. And the right still comes in here and goes, they look stupid and I hate their hair and they look like a villain and they're dumb, and what if they were a billionaire? Would they still be doing it? It's just like, shut the fuck up. Actually shut the fuck up. You have right in front of you a video where they are telling you exactly how they're organizing, exactly what they're doing, exactly what the strategy is. You know the organizations involved, you know the people involved, and you don't give a fuck, and no one uses this information to go do everything. Do I have to do fucking everything? Because guess what? My bandwidth is stretched to absolute maximum. I can't fucking do all the organizing and every fucking tactic on top of doing the best fucking intelligence of the left of anyone on the internet by myself. This is why I'm no longer doing public spy streams. Because the situation is incredibly fucked up. No one is taking it seriously. And every single time I do a public spy stream where we have a live opportunity, this is a live opportunity to hear directly from the left what they are doing. There's no discussion in the chat about the tactics. There's no discussion in the chat, well, maybe we should try this, and maybe that seems like a good idea too, and oh shit, I didn't know they were doing that. There's no discussion of any of that. It's all, they look stupid. Do you know how mind-boggling this is to me? Do you know how infuriating this is to me? I have been doing this for fucking years. And for years, I have seen the left just continue to push forward, meeting after meeting, call after call. And the right does these fucking publicity stunts just to get clout on Twitter, where they complain about something for a week and then no one does anything about it. Do you guys remember when the right figured out the Party for Socialism and Liberation is funded by a guy connected to the CCP? Do you guys remember that? Has literally anything been done about the Party for Socialism and Liberation being funded by a guy connected to the CCP? No. No. Ted Cruz was tweeting about it. Anna Paulina Luna was tweeting about it. All of them were talking a big talk. Oh, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get the Party for Socialism and Liberation. They're funded by the CCP. In the meantime, the Party for Socialism and Liberation has got chapters set up in cities all over the country. They can organize thousands of people at a drop of a hat. By the way, the local chapters of the Party for Socialism and Liberation aren't getting that fucking CCP money, by the way. It's just the national ones that are getting it. They've got the People's Forum in New York City. They've got Breakthrough News. They've got this fucking Code Pink organization. And you know what they do? They just show up every single day and do what they want to do. And even Ted Cruz and Anna Paulina Luda tweeting like fucking lunatics, we're going to get them and their CCP money. They never did shit. Nothing ever changed. But it wasn't covered in the news cycle anymore, so conservatives felt like they owned the libs, and that was really all they needed to do. They just needed to own the libs and say, we know it's CCP funded, and it changed absolutely nothing. And the Party for Socialism and Liberation is still organizing every single day, today, in cities all over the country with exactly the same fuck-off funding that they had months ago when Ted Cruz and Anna Paulina Luna were complaining about it on Twitter for fucking clout. It's infuriating. It is infuriating to watch the right's reaction to this. So no, this is going to be the last fucking public spy stream I do, because I can't take it. I can't. I cannot handle having retards in my chat for normal streams, let alone having right-wing retards in my chat commenting on a live presentation going, I think they look stupid. Fuck you. Go fuck thyself. Honestly. Maybe 1,000 people go to CPAC in a good year. And I've been to CPAC twice. You got 1,000 people for one event. And by the way, do you know what they do at CPAC? Has anyone ever been to CPAC? I have. Do you know what they do at CPAC? They don't do any of what the left does. They don't do fucking meetings like that at CPAC. CPAC is a giant pep rally where they set up a big room and conservative politicians get 10 minutes to go on stage, and in those 10 minutes they say, rah, rah, we're winning, rah, rah, we're winning, DEI is dead, we killed them guys, woke is dead. And then it's a pep rally for several straight days. There's no organizing that takes place, there's no strategies, there's nothing. And then they all go out to the bar later and then they drink, and then they get on fucking Grindr and they order their gay hookers to their hotel room with all their fucking blow on the nighttime table, and they do whatever the fuck they do, and that's it. That's it. The right doesn't do what the left does. The right doesn't plan like the left does. The right doesn't organize like the left does. The right doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. The right doesn't even understand the language the left is speaking. We are so incredibly fucked. It's not even funny, but the right is high-fiving each other on Twitter going, we're winning, DEI is dead, woke is dead, pinky swear, trust me, bro. It's maddening. So while I do want people to have this information, and I do, I am no longer willing to receive the stress and the frustration of showing this stuff publicly. If you want to come watch this stuff with me, you can pay me money. And it's not even a lot of money. It's not even about the money. We're talking like $8 a month. Where like it's more expensive to get a fucking cup of coffee at Starbucks. The reason I want people to pay me money to come watch it is not because of the money. It's because I know you take it fucking seriously. And I don't have these issues in my chat when I'm doing supporter only spy stream, because every single person in the chat takes it seriously. And they don't do this. And it's like, Karlyn, you're talking about onesies and twosies. Fine, I don't give a fuck anymore. Guess what? You didn't clean up your own side. You didn't clean up your own fucking shop, conservatives. You didn't clean up your own shop, and so the onesies and twosies are gonna ruin the fucking free ride, because I ain't fucking doing it anymore. You guys can find someone else to do it, man. Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. I despise the left because they want to destroy our way of life. I despise conservatives because they don't give a fuck about that fact. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Yeah, it's not an election year. We don't have to do anything. Okay. I should not have to put a disclaimer for conservatives to take this seriously. The fact that you think that conservatives, this is only for people who take this seriously. It would clear the room of fucking right-wingers if I did that. The fact that you guys need a disclaimer to take something seriously, do you even hear yourself? No, it is that you don't care. It is, you don't have a clue. You want to know why you don't have a clue what's going on, Laura? Because all of your influencers fucking lie to you and you swarm to them like moths to a fucking flame because they tell you the things you want to hear. It is not my fault that you guys like to be lied to. It is not my fault that you pick out the shittiest people to follow and you listen to them without any evidence. You don't know what's going on because you don't want to. All of the information is out there. I've been covering this for years. All of it is out there. The people who want to know what's going on can easily find out what is going on. Tommy, the reason you got timed out is I told you to fucking stop and you didn't. I told you repeatedly to stop and you didn't. Stop shitposting in the chat. That is not what this is. That is not what this is at all. And you've been around long enough to know that. My God. We are just about at the tail end of being able to have been lied to consistently without consequences. No, we're already past it. We're already past it. We are completely fucked. Conservatives and their influencers and their fucking politicians have completely fucked all of us by lying to their audiences for years and teaching their audiences. This is the fucked up part of this whole thing. Conservative influencers have taught their audience that if you just own the libs and you just point out all the ways in which socialism is hypocritical and you just say they're fat and ugly, that conservative influencers have actually taught their audience that that's all that's required to defeat the left. It is mind-boggling. And their audience just laps it all up because it's easy and they don't actually have to do anything. And conservatives are lazy as fuck. Thanks, Donnie girl. I appreciate it. Yeah, they're getting tens of thousands of people to march. See, you know what? You can make fun of that lady's looks all you like. You can say she looks like a fucking comic book villain because she does. But you know what? That woman, that crazy fucking woman with the one eyebrow and the crazy hair, she has hosted all of these organizing calls for months. She organizes hundreds of thousands of people. She's ugly. She's organized 100,000 people. What the fuck are you doing? Like, when did people convince themselves that someone's looks had anything to do with anything? Again, the conservative retard mentality. If I just say they're ugly, then they can't win. Yes, they can win, and not only can they win, they're kicking your fucking ass. Thank you, I appreciate it. And I'm sorry if I'm yelling at you and you're not one of the people that was being an idiot in my chat. I'm sorry, but like, you need to understand, this is year after month, like week after week of doing this, month after month of doing this. The reaction is always the same from conservatives. It's like you cannot teach these people anything. They don't care. They don't want to listen. They don't take it seriously. And it's just like, I can only take so much disappointment before I go, you're like, fuck you. Honestly, go fuck yourself. Because like, you are just as bad as the left, conservatives. You are just as bad as the left. It's fucking annoying. And everyone who's here with me and watches this stuff with me consistently, we're all fucking annoyed. No, they are all, and they're not conservatives, they're secret leftists. Go fuck yourself, Lynette. How do you know they're conservatives? We know. We know. We've been doing this a long fucking time. It is very, 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 you guys think you're special and unique snowflakes. It is very easy to identify when it's a conservative. I promise you. Everyone who's here knows they're conservatives. And the ones I especially like, the conservatives I especially like, are the ones who go, I'm not a conservative, before they start using literally all the conservative talking points. All the conservative talking points. They quote exactly what fucking Glenn Beck is saying, what they heard on Fox News, what they saw on Libs of TikTok, what they heard on the Daily Wire, what they heard on Steven Crowder. They use like literally every single conservative talking point, and then they have the temerity to come into my chat and go, "No, you think I'm a conservative? I'm not a conservative." Yes, you are. Shut the fuck up. Do you think I'm stupid? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. My God. Another example of conservatives being retard. Fucking what they did to Lauren Chen, completely retarded. You can tell who's a conservative within like half of a sentence. That is very, very true. Conservatives think they're these special and unique snowflakes. No, you're not. You're literally exactly like the left. Like covering DEI stuff brings it's so true. It's so true. It's so true. I can barely even look at Christopher Rufo's Twitter feed anymore because it's like Christopher Rufo is now pandering to just the absolute lowest of the low, and it's so disgusting to watch. It's like did you sell your soul back when I first met you, or did you do it somewhere along the way? When exactly did you completely sell out, Chris? When did you completely... Was it when you got put on the board of the New College of Florida, which now looks ridiculous, by the way? Like, I was on the New College of Florida's website earlier today. They look ridiculous. They've got the whole website locked down. It's like they don't even want anyone to know what's going on at that school, which makes me suspicious about what's going on at that school. I kind of want to do a public records request for like every single email that Christopher Rufo has sent in like the last 3 to 6 months, just to see what's going on at that school and just to see what his involvement is. I probably won't do that because I've got way too many other things going on, but I kind of want to. If someone else wants to do a public records request for the New College of Florida, and ask them about their communications with one Christopher Rufo, member of the Board of Trustees, I would be very interested to see what he's been talking about with them, because that whole school's got their website completely locked down. Yeah. This is a reality that we're just talking right now, by the way. This is a reality that the right needs to face. Donald Trump has been in office for, what, 9 months almost? There has not been one real significant move against actual communists in academia. He took a bunch of funding away. That's a nice start. But they're going to get that funding somewhere else. They're going to replace it pretty easily, honestly. And they're still doing literally everything they were doing before Trump got into office. They might change the name of it. They might fire a couple people to look like they're doing something, but they're still effectively doing that thing. It hasn't stopped the professors from teaching this shit at all. I've been looking at college course schedules for the past, couple weeks. They're still teaching literally all the same woke shit. The courses haven't changed. They're teaching all the queer shit. They're teaching all the gender stuff. Wait until you guys see some of the spy streams we have coming up. Like, they haven't slowed down at all. They've done nothing. They've done literally nothing. Why? Anti-Semitism takes priority over everything. Yeah, Harvard paid a fine. Big fucking deal. Harvard's got a $60 billion endowment. Harvard owns the most expensive property in Boston. Harvard ain't going nowhere, and it never was. Yeah, all the colleges are doing orientations now. Do you know the University of Michigan literally has 3 pronoun workshops coming up? 3. But DEI is dead, according to Christopher Rufo. We won, guys. We won. Yeah, okay. Retards. I swear to God. I swear to God. We are so fucked. And there ain't nothing I can do about it because no one listens to me, but it's so infuriating. Trump needs to shut down all the unions. The unions all need to be abolished. They need to all go away. All the unions. not just the teachers' unions. There need to be congressional hearings into the political organizing activities of the unions now. Will Trump do that? No, they have to schedule another meeting about anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is always going to take priority over this. I can't even follow fucking Harmeet Dillon anymore. Harmeet Dillon is a fucking sellout. Fuck that bitch. I don't give a fuck that she's a knitter. I am disgusted by Harmeet Dillon. I'm disgusted by Leo Terrell, who is like the chief of the anti-Semitism task force, and now all he talks about is anti-Semitism because that's all the DOJ cares about is anti-Semitism and covering up for Epstein. Harmeet Dillon is basically doing whatever Christopher Rufo tells her to do. And Christopher Rufo isn't even hinged into reality of what's actually going on anymore. He's hinged into what makes him look good politically. He's hinged into what'll keep him in favor with the White House. So basically the Manhattan Institute is dictating to the DOJ what to do. And the Manhattan Institute, by the way, is a Zionist organization. So is it any wonder that the DOJ is obsessed with anti-Semitism, 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 haven't done fuck off shit about leftist organizing? Nothing. The entire state of Vermont has been in open rebellion against the Trump administration for months. Harmeet Dillon knows this. I sent her all the information. Doesn't do shit with it. It's got to suck Chris Rufo's cock so that he can feel important. It's so disgusting. Every single person in the Trump administration is a complete sellout and a disappointment, and they should never be trusted again to do anything. And the left just marches on. And the left just keeps doing whatever they want to do, and no one gives them any opposition. There is zero real opposition to the far left in America right now. None. And if you disagree with me, where's it coming from? Who is actually acting in opposition to the far left in America? Because we watch the far left all the time. They don't even talk about the right because the right isn't giving them any trouble. The biggest challenge the far left in America has is with destroying the Democratic Party. That's it. And by the way, the far left is doing a better job at destroying the Democratic Party than even the Republicans are, because the Republicans are going to lose the fucking midterms to the Democrats because they're morons. It's so infuriating. It's so frustrating. I really wish I didn't care as much about this stuff. I really wish I just didn't give a fuck. I really wish I could be like all these other fake fucking retards on the internet that just takes a paycheck and says whatever they want me to say and not care about it and feel satisfied because I'm taking paychecks and all. I really wish I could do that. I really wish I could. I wish I could turn that spot in my brain off that actually gives a fuck about this shit. Conservatives don't even believe it's a real problem. That's exactly right. They don't even believe it's a real problem. And they think they understand the left when they don't. They don't know anything. It's so frustrating. And there is nothing that I can do about it. I'm doing what I can do, which is to document it, to archive it, to try to make some sense of it, to try to educate as many people as possible. I'm doing every single thing that I can do. I have no more time in my schedule. I'm already underwater by like 1,000,000%. There's nothing more I can do than what I'm already doing. Except sit back and prepare that we're all going to fucking lose. And if you've got kids, they're going to live in a Marxist society. If you've got grandkids, they're probably going to be Marxists. That's just reality, guys. The left is going to win. It's not even going to be close. They are going to try to overthrow the federal government at some point. They talk about it openly. The right isn't doing fuck off shit about it. They don't even know what's going on. And I believe in 10 to 15 years, the left is going to get what they want, which is they're going to overthrow the government. They're going to take everything over. They're going to abolish everything. They're going to fuck everything up. A lot of people are going to starve. A lot of people are going to die. Not that they're planning for people to starve and die, but that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to implement their Marxist society. And by the way, your kids have been raised in public schools that are teaching them to be Marxists already since they were 5 years old. And your grandkids are getting all that stuff too, because Trump hasn't gotten shit out of public schools yet. You guys understand that, right? The public schools are still teaching every single thing that they were teaching when Joe Biden was in office, because Trump can write all the executive orders that he wants, but the schools are just fucking ignoring them. And then even when the Department of Justice and Harmeet Dillon have evidence delivered directly to them saying, here are the schools saying they're ignoring the executive orders, you want to go do something about that, they still ignore it. Why? Anti-Semitism. Oh, but they're going to get those DEI offices out of the universities, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Harmeet Dillon is going to make sure all the DEI offices in the country's close. Oh, stunning and fucking brave. So they reassign those employees to different divisions at the university. They change the name of what they're doing. They still do it occasionally. They're even getting people on video saying this is exactly what they're doing. Do you really think that Republicans have hidden cameras in 4,000 colleges throughout the country? I don't. And guess what? A lot of those colleges are already getting wise to the fact that they're being tricked to saying this stuff on video. And so they've started not doing that, and they say it in other ways. And P.S., DEI doesn't even fucking matter. DEI is low-level, trickle-down distraction that keeps Chris Rufo famous and relevant, keeps Harmeet Dillon, going after universities to shut down their DEI offices that aren't even doing... The DEI offices aren't even fucking doing anything. Is Harmeet Dillon looking at the Centers for Institute for Research and the Institutes for Research and stuff like that? Because that's where they should be looking. Do they know any of this shit? No, because they don't fucking listen. The real woke shit at the colleges isn't even happening in the DEI offices. It's happening in the centers, the institutes, the academic departments where this research is coming out, where they're doing conferences, where they're doing journals, where they're doing these trainings, where they're doing all this stuff that is not coming out of the DEI offices, you fucking retards. No one listens to me. No one looks at the evidence. Fine. Then I'll just sit here and archive it and continue to put it all together, and I'll take donations to do it. And, because I do think that normal people care about this stuff. Sadly, we can't get the people in power to actually care about it because they're too busy talking about anti-Semitism to kiss the asses of their Zionist funders, Chris Rufo. The Manhattan Institute is funded by Zionist Paul Singer. That's why the administration is so focused on anti-Semitism. They're getting fed information from all these Zionist fucking influencers. All these organizations that are funded by actual Israelis, because that's more important, guys. Anti-Semitism is more important than beating back communism. God knows. I'm so disgusted with myself for ever associating with any of these people to begin with. But I was stupid and I was naive and I made mistakes, and you live and you learn, and that's really all you can do. But anyway. So let me see the notes I got from that meeting, because I took pages of notes. They had over 1,000 protest events across the country on Monday. There are people in unions that control tens of thousands of workers that were involved in these protests. They had people on the call from Chicago. They had a lady from Boston. They had a couple people from Boston. 10,000 people out to protest in Boston. New York is expecting 100,000 people this weekend. I didn't even know there was a protest in New York this weekend, but apparently they're expecting over 100,000 people. That's really great. They've got a whole website infrastructure where they're targeting billionaires. They have this chief ICE officer thing, which is new. They didn't have that last time. The SEIU, which is a massive labor union, is involved in all of this stuff. The teachers unions are about to launch solidarity strike schools. The reason they're launching solidarity strike schools is they want to do a mass general strike either in 2026 or 2028. What I mean when I say a mass general strike is they want to get all workers to strike at the same time across industries. Maybe not all workers, but like a really big percent of workers. So they want to organize a mass general strike. I don't think they're going to be able to do it for next year. I think they're going to try to do it for 2028. But they're launching strike schools across the country to teach people how to strike. This is how the left operates. They say, we want to do this thing. We need to educate people about how to do that thing. The right says, the left is stupid and ugly, and we are going to own the libs on Twitter with memes. High five, we're winning, pinky swear, trust me, bro. And that's it. That's it. Well, I'm sure this is going to stop them. I'm sure that that's going to stop them. So, if you take this seriously, if you want to take this seriously, then you can come with me to do a spy stream this weekend. Let me get it up. Hang on. Unfucking believable. Oh my god. I hate everything. I literally could not hate everything more than I already do hate everything. Or I thought I couldn't, but no, I still do. I really, 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 really do. Is this it? Is this what I'm looking for? No. That one I'm looking for? Yes. Okay. Oh, now I lost my StreamYard. Where'd my StreamYard go? Where did my StreamYard go? What tab is my StreamYard in right now? Where even am I? There I am. Well, if you actually care about this stuff and you want to learn more, I'm going to be infiltrating a live socialist event this weekend. This is a 2-day socialism conference. This is actually a socialism conference. What we were just watching was not socialism. What we were just watching were progressives. And so progressives, maybe some Democratic Socialists of America. This weekend, this is going to be a supporter exclusive because there ain't no way I'm doing this public. This is going to be a supporter exclusive for supporters on my Substack, my locals, my Patreon, my YouTube channel members, my Twitter subscribers. We are watching a live 2-day Radical Revolutionary Socialist Conference. It is going to be starting on Saturday around noon-ish. I'm going to start the stream earlier than that. We'll do 6 hours on Saturday, 6 hours on Sunday. I'm still planning on doing Socialism Saturday on Saturday. I guess we'll see how that goes. But we are going to be doing this live. So if you want, see, here we go. You hurt my feelings. Get the fuck out, Lynette. You are exactly who I'm talking about. You've been complaining and whining this whole fucking time. You've been complaining and you hurt my feelings that I'm gonna take my retard money elsewhere. Lynette, have you ever even been in my chat before? Let's see. Has never been in the chat before. Is anyone surprised to learn that Lynette has literally never been in my chat before? Would anyone be surprised to learn that Lynette has literally never supported my work with money? Never. Never. Just showed up here, acted like a retard in the chat, got yelled at, whined and complained, continued to confirm that she's just a fucking retard, and now she's saying, my feelings were hurt, so I don't take this seriously, so fuck you. Goodbye, Lynette. You're not smart enough to be here. Go away. This is what I mean when I say people don't take this seriously. This is what I mean. If you are so stupid that you take everything on Twitter or everything on YouTube personally, and then you get all in your... Conservatives like to think that the left is all in their feelings. No. There is no group of people on the internet more in their feelings than conservatives. I'm taking my money elsewhere. Good, get the fuck out. never even supported my work to begin with. And it's always the people who never supported my work to begin with. They're like, I'm taking my money elsewhere. You've never paid me money to begin with, bitch. No, I don't think that was Jill. I think that was just an actual conservative retard. Oh my God, I hate these people. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. Ugh. Anyway, we're doing this event this weekend. If you want to come, fine. Like, that's how this is how I feel about it. I'm at a point right now where I have like, I mean, I always would like more supporters, I guess, but like I have enough people supporting my work right now where like I'm literally like, if you want to take this seriously, come on, show up, fine. If you don't want to take this seriously, fuck right off. Like, I have no more patience. None. So if you want to come to this event this weekend, you are welcome to come. We will be streaming for 12 hours watching socialism. You can join by going to my Substack. That is Karlyn, Karlyn.substack.com. Sign up for $8 a month, $80 a year. You can also join by becoming a YouTube channel member. The thing is, yeah, I mean, this is the thing too. It's like, if you're actually serious about this, if you're actually serious about understanding what the left is doing, you don't get all in your fees. It's only people that are not serious because they know they're not serious. Where can you buy my books? All my books are available on Amazon, but if you want a direct link to the books, if you, sir, would like a link to my books, you can go to redmenacepress.com. If you go to Red Menace Press and you click on any of the titles that are out right now, like the Communist Manifesto Revolutionary Fairy Tale, which I highly recommend people pick up. I'm very proud of this book. You'll be taken right to Amazon, and you can buy the book there. That is where you can buy my books, good sir. Bruh. Yeah, I agree, Gary. She should have, like, if you're going to be a dick and you're going to get in your feelings, then you owe me money. This is a new rule. If you're going to get into your feelings in my chat and become disruptive and annoying, you owe me money. You owe me money for my emotional labor. You owe me money for my suffering. You owe me money for the fact that the presentation that you're watching that you're not taking seriously is probably a presentation that I looked around for, a while to try to find that presentation, and I'm going through great extents to break it down and to make sure people understand it, and you're just dicking around in the chat and not taking it seriously, and you're making me stress out because you're being a dick in the chat and not taking it fucking seriously. You owe me money if you do that shit. It's all good. It's all good. I wasn't even talking about you. You're fine. I honestly don't even know what you... So if you feel bad about something, don't worry about it, okay? I appreciate it. And the thing of it is, too, guys, is like, if you screw up and you make a comment, it happens all the time. I don't actually need an apology. I appreciate it. But this is not what I'm talking about. I just literally need people to adjust their behavior. That's all I need. I literally just need people to take this more seriously. That's it. That's it. I don't need an apology. I don't actually even need super chats. I'm not going to turn them down. If you want to send me money, totally do. But, like, I don't need that. Literally, I just need you to take it seriously. That's it. And if you don't want to do that, fine, but you don't have to be here. That's it. All right. I'm going to go cry now. I'm going to go cry. No, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go get high. That's what I'm actually going to do. See, you want to know why I'm yelling right now? I didn't get high during the presentation. I was responsible. That was my first mistake. I was responsible on the internet. That was my first fucking mistake. So I'm going to go get high now, and I'm probably going to end up crying anyway. Thank you, Kevin Michael. Yeah, rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. I yelled because I wasn't on drugs. Yeah, I feel like that's got to be a song now or something. I was going to cry until I got high. It's got to be like a song. It's got to be like a reggae song. All right. That's all. Before I give the retards on the internet anything more they can cut out of context about me. All right. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my night. And you guys are going to enjoy the rest of your night too. And I will be back. Hey, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's happy hour. I get to drink beer tomorrow. We get to watch something fun. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the people who appreciate my yelling. I appreciate the people who have the same consternation about all this shit as I do. I appreciate the people who do take this seriously and they understand why I'm at my wit's fucking end. I hate everyone and I just want to burn it all down because everything sucks and the left is going to win anyway and we're all fucked. All right, I'm going now. Bye.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.